Hi, I'm Lynn Russell and I'm here today with Caroline from Baylis Horse Feeds, my very long-term sponsors. And we're here today to talk about some medical feeding issues. And today we're going to talk about Azoturia, or for those people who don't know what it is tying up, or some people call it Monday morning disease. When I say Monday morning disease, it's because a horse has worked hard on the weekend, not worked on Monday. Now, the symptoms of Azoturia are: you can bring the horse out of the stable, and as he's walking out the stable he looks like he's got cramp behind. The muscles behind the saddle are tight, there's no give in them, and he's not using his back legs properly, so he looks as if he's semi-crippled. Now, the cause of that is quite often because the horse isn't assimilating the feed and he's not breaking down the feed before he's working. So we have to look at how to deal with it and ways around it. It's something that I don't get very often, but it does crop up from time to time. It can often crop up after you've worked a horse. You stand him for a period of time, you then ask him to move off, and he finds great difficulty in doing so, and in some cases he can't. The first thing you need to do is to get him back to his stable. The second thing you need to do is to get him warm, because quite often they're very cold, so you need to put extra rugs on to warm him across his kidneys. I give them 2 sachets of bute, and I give them some ACP, which is a muscle relaxant, if it's a mild case. If it's a serious case, then I may have to call the vet. But basically it is stemmed from what you're feeding. So I'm going to talk to Caroline and she will explain a little bit about it, but for me the main key again is the outshine. But Caroline will tell you a little bit more about it, and if there's anything you want to ask me about Azoturia, then do ask me, because obviously I've had experience and maybe you haven't.
Okay, yeah, certainly just looking, so unfortunately if this situation arises, then it can be necessary to change the diet, particularly if high energy feeds have been involved. As Lynn said, you know, sometimes the horses are in hard work, they have a day off or more, and the feeds are reduced. Actually,
you know, where it has cropped up, I found the most is if you've got people that hunt. You know, they'll hunt Saturday, they'll rest the horse all day Sunday, then they'll pull it out Monday, which is why it's called Monday morning disease, and the horse will come out, they put it into work too quickly before it's loosened its muscles up, and bang, you get this cramp situation that sets in.
And that is a situation that we hear by people contacting us, that they'll describe that situation, that's a problem that's arisen. So and so in this case then we can look to manage the problem, because unfortunately, have you found that they can be more susceptible to it then once they've had it?
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
So it's more than a kind of a preventative measure, would you say, to try and manage the situation?
Yeah, I mean,
with
quite often I've had
feed.
It is something actually that crops up with the thoroughbreds, and if I've had a thoroughbred horse that has had it once, then very often what I'll do is I will turn them out first thing in the morning so they loosen their muscles off naturally, then I'll bring them in and ride them later, and that way I'm not concerned. But they always used to say, walk the horse out the first 2 miles and walk it back the last 2 miles, but I don't have time to do that.
No,
not be walking
not with a yard and 20 horses.
No, so I use the field.
Yeah,
okay.
Sounds good, sounds good. So you mentioned the outshine, Lynn.
Yes.
So definitely from our point of view as nutritionists, then we'd be looking to base the diet on high oil, high fibre, steering clear from those high energies or competition mixes and such. So really basing the diet on a balancer and looking to add in something like the outshine so that they're getting their energy and their calories in a safe form, so to avoid this build up, to avoid these problems, you know, that certainly can contribute to a horse that's susceptible to tying up.
And what happens is that if a horse gets repeated attacks of Azoturia or tying up, you get what's called muscle wastage behind. So when you look at the quarters where you have that nice round bottom, if they've had a few attacks, you will find that because the blood supply isn't going through to the muscle, you will get a little bit of wastage, and if it keeps happening, then obviously you're going to keep having more and more muscle wastage, and it is something that you do have to take very seriously.
Something that can help with the muscle side of things, certainly in this instance, obviously change your feed, but also look to add in an electrolyte supplement. Do you find that helps with your horses?
I do, but I must make it very clear to people that I am very experienced. If you come across or you have a horse with Azoturia, then please contact your vet. don't just take on board what I'm telling you. I've got 20 years experience and you may not have, so it is important.
And with, like Lynn said, Lynn has the experience, and with the regards, obviously there's a lot more to it, but on the feed side of things, if you want just to clarify what to feed to help manage the situation, then please do contact a feed company via the helpline, via the
organise
website.
a feed company, contact Bailey's, I do. That's what you're there
specialist.
for. That's what you're there for, you're there to help me.
That's right, so yeah, anybody, any discipline, this affects, unfortunately, doesn't it, any horse.
Yes.
You
you do find that the thoroughbred horses are more prone to it than what I call the common horses, the cold-blooded horses, the Irish giraffe, that type of horse. The more quality the horse has, the more susceptible it is to Azoturia, whereas a cob is more laminitis. I hope you found that very useful. I'd like to thank Caroline from Bailey's Horse Feeds, and if you do have any problems with Azoturia, please do contact your vet. It is very serious and it does require veterinary attention. Thank you.